Well, the gloves are off in the redistricting war. Democrats perfected the art of rigging maps while crying victim. Illinois gives Republicans 16% of seats with 44% of the votes. California's fake independent commission hands Democrats 83% of districts. They redrew New York mid-decade after saying it was illegal, but now Texas is fighting back and liberals are losing their mind. Governor Abbott just dropped the hammer. If California eliminates 5 Republican seats, Texas adds 10 GOP seats in response. Gavin Newsom's having a meltdown, threatening retaliation. Beto, or Robert Francis O'Rourke, well, he might face 6 months in jail for violating court orders. The battle for Congress is being fought with maps, and Republicans just went nuclear. Watch what happens next. While politicians redraw maps to grab power, you can redraw your pain-free future naturally. You're getting older. I'm getting older. It's unavoidable. Until science reverses aging, we all face joint pain. Most supplements promising miracles don't work, but turmeric has stood the test of time. Standard turmeric barely absorbs, making it useless for serious pain. Well, Dr. Josh Levitt uses BCM95 curcumin, absorbing 200 times better, and he combined it with boswellia for inflammation, magnesium for tight muscles, and bromelain for stiff joints in Golden Revive Plus. I take it daily. No morning stiffness, no hesitation on stairs. Visit goldenrevive.com/NNN for pain-free movement. Now, this just in, a few hours ago, the Texas Senate has passed the map that adds 5 GOP seats, eliminating 5 Democrat seats. And this is the moment the Democrats stormed out of the chamber like tantrum-throwing babies they are.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. I know that there's been a lot of discussion about this bill coming forward today. Everyone has different perspectives on it. I would like to, with permission, though, patience. There are some things I know we have a lot of people watching online that haven't been.
Well, it is now official. If you recall, last week, I, with Next News Network and some local members of the team here, uncovered the exact location where these guys were hiding out, trying to avoid this vote and forcing them to come back. Yeah, we revealed the location, caught them on camera. Remarkable moment. Security guard showing me the papers with all their names on it. The crooked Democrats wrote the book on gerrymandering. Any changes would be a correction at this point. Here, take a look at Illinois. I mean, this just shows you how bad it is. I mean, this is what it looks like. The state of Illinois. Look at those districts. Completely drawn just for the benefit of those in power to maintain those seats. I mean, like, look at this. Here's Peoria to Bloomington. All the way, like, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Going up to Rockford. I mean, look at this yellow district in the center here. Down to St. Louis. Up to Springfield. I mean, this big purple district. It's just insane. And this is the state that the Democrats fled to from Texas. Here we have another example of gerrymandering. Another example. This is a Democrat district in Texas. This is what a stolen House seat actually looks like. Another one, House Massachusetts District 7. I mean, they write these maps so that they can maintain power. Here we have Speaker McCarthy, former Speaker McCarthy, 24 hours ago, on Democrat redistricting. He says, they said you can't redistrict mid-decade, then New York did it just 2 years ago.
Can't redistrict.
You had to deal with this redistricting issue a lot when you were Speaker. What strikes you most about Beto? He bankrolled some of the Democrats' travels to Illinois and so forth. And he's trying to make himself the man of the
Let's
moment.
think about the Democrats' argument. They said you can't redistrict mid-decade. Well, Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi, and Hochul in New York fought to redistrict last cycle. Just 2 years ago, they did that, trying to win the majority. Then you think, oh, you can't gerrymander. Look at Illinois. They get an F rating from the nonpartisan group, and that was under Pritzker. Republicans, Donald Trump gets 44% of the vote, and we only have 16% of the seats.
Or in Illinois? Or
in Illinois.
Yeah.
In California, it's even worse. He's the ultimate Gavin Newsom. And if you look at these three governors, they're all trying to run for president. They're all trying to get the Democrat nominee. We have the people of California voted for and changed the Constitution for a commission. Now he wants
independent commission
that gives 83% of the seats to the Democrats and 17% to the Republicans when they almost get 40% of the vote. But that's not good enough. Gavin Newsom wants to take that higher. So even if Texas got what they wanted, the percentage will be less for Republicans than it currently is in California.
It's about time Republicans actually started fighting hard for this stuff.
Yes.
Because the Democrats do it. I mean, it's totally legal. I mean, people might not like it, but it's legal.
We already got cheated by the number of seats. Texas and Florida deserved more seats because it was during COVID.
Oh, yeah,
they made judgment calls.
You had to deal with this.
Let's keep digging in here. Here is Pritzker in 2025. Says redistricting is evil, and Pritzker in 2022 redistricts Illinois.
Let's be clear. So Trump came up with a new scheme, rig the system, by ramming through a corrupt mid-decade redistricting plan that would steal 5 congressional seats, silencing millions of voices, especially Black and Latino voters. Right. Let's be clear. This is not just rigging the system in Texas. It's about rigging the system against the rights of all Americans for years to come. Now, Texas Republicans submitted to the president's orders and took steps to advance Trump's Texas takeover. And while Texas Democrats have been trying to work across the aisle to deliver disaster relief after the devastating floods in central Texas, Republicans chose to use the tragedy as political cover to cheat. That brings us to today. Texas Democrats were left no choice.
And we expose their location. Here is J.D. Vance. Luke Macias says every Texan should watch him. Texas is saving America with our mid-decade redistricting push.
Those 5 states, there's just not a whole lot of juice left out of that lemon. The Democrats have already gone as far as they possibly can. Let me give you a crazy statistic. So I believe that it's in New Jersey, Illinois, New York, California, and there's one other Democrat state where you take those 5 states, you have a large number of Democrat representatives. But here's the crazy statistic. President Trump won 43% of those 5 states. And Democrats have something like 85% of the representatives out of those states. You cannot gerrymander these far left states anymore. And that's the whole point. We have unilaterally disarmed in the Republican Party. We have said to the Democrats, if you want to rig the game in your favor in blue states, go ahead. We're going to do nothing to fight back against it. That's crazy. It makes it harder for us to pass our agenda. It makes it harder for us to win elections. And most importantly, it gives Democrats this ability to run roughshod over the country without any pushback from the American people. The democratic system in this country is broken because who you vote for doesn't necessarily get reflected in who your representatives are. We're just trying to rebalance the scales and, frankly, push back against a very unfair system created by the Democrats. There's just
pushing back is what we need to do. Here is Brian Harrison. Did an interview with NPR on redistricting, but they deleted this part of the interview before airing, so he decided to post it. Can't imagine why they did that.
And how that is, who look at what you're doing and say, this doesn't serve Texas as a whole, that your move essentially erases the power of my vote. And we can talk about what happens in other states. We talk about gerrymandering on this show often and how that is a tool used on both sides of the aisle. But talk to the non-Republican voters in Texas right now and tell them why you think this move is justified.
Before I do that, has NPR in the past 2 to 4 years ever asked any Democrat to come on your show, Governor Pritzker, Governor Newsom, et cetera, and ask them to speak to the Republican, the non-Democrat voters in their Democrat state about what their radical gerrymandering is doing to, I think your words were, suppress or water down their vote? Has NPR ever asked any Democrat the equivalent of the question that you just asked me? I have no problem with the question, by the way, and I'm happy to talk about it. But has NPR ever asked any Democrat that question?
Representative, if you don't have a problem with the question, then please answer it. You're deflecting.
Well, no, I want to know, have you ever asked any Democrats that question in the last 5 years?
NPR as a whole, what I can tell you is when we have Democrats on this program, we ask them questions that are aligned with what I'm asking you right now. We have talked about gerrymandering on both sides of the aisle and how it is a problem for voters and their feeling that their vote counts. So please answer the question.
You have mentioned that redistricting occurs on NPR. Has NPR ever asked any Democrat to speak to come on your air and speak to Republican voters in their state when they have gerrymandered almost all of their representation? Because it matters. It goes to the bigger point here. The bigger story isn't the redistricting. The bigger story is the hypocrisy.
On the program,
yeah,
we ask them the same questions we're asking you. Do you want to answer the question?
Has any Democrat been asked by NPR to defend their redistricting efforts and the impact on the non-Democratic voters in their state? I want to know that because I think it is.
Yeah, of course, NPR will no longer be a threat to democracy anymore. Here we have Beto O'Rourke, Robert Francis. Attorney General Ken Paxton is asking Judge Megan Fahey to hold Beto in contempt of court and jail him for 6 months after he traveled to Fort Worth on Saturday to raise money for the fugitive Democrats in violation of her order. Beto made it clear to the Fort Worth judge he doesn't recognize her authority, explaining there are no refs in this game. F the rules, we're going to win whatever it takes. Do you think the judge will give Beto a pass or throw the book at him?
Prevail and come through and listen. You may say to yourself, well, those aren't the rules. There are no refs in this game. Fuck the rules. We are going to win whatever it takes. And one of the worst things that we could do to Ken Paxton is to right now choose to donate to have the backs of these fighters by texting FIGHT to 20377. Text FIGHT to 20377. He is trying to stop us from raising the resources they need to ultimately... Listen. You may say to yourself, well, those aren't the rules. There are no refs.
Robert Francis is in some hot water over those statements. Here, he says a couple days ago, Democrats have always prioritized playing by the rules over gaining power. This may be the most laughably egregious lie of the entire redistricting saga. Of course, the MSNBC hosts enthusiastically agree.
Governor Newsom, absolutely. And I just think it's super clear that Republicans care about power and nothing else. And for far too long, Democrats have cared about being right, coloring within the lines, following rules, and power has always been a secondary consideration. We need to absolutely flip that around and focus on power exclusively. It's why I'm encouraged by what I'm hearing by Governor Newsom in California, Governor Pritzker in Illinois, even Governor Hochul in New York. They're talking about seizing the initiative and redrawing their congressional boundaries to maximize Democratic Party advantage. We got to fight fire with fire. I mean, we wish the refs were going to call the fouls, that there were going to be penalties for what they are doing right now, but the refs have left the arena.
Yeah, they're or corrupted.
And to fight this out and to win. We got to be focused on it. Absolutely.
MSNBC, give me a break. Okay, so here's Gavin Newsom. Time to call telling Donald Trump, time to call Greg Abbott and tell him to stand down.
Hey, President Trump, it's time to stand down. It's time to make another phone call to Greg Abbott. This time, instead of calling him and telling him you're, quote unquote, entitled to 5 congressional seats, it's time to tell him to stand down. It's time to recognize that democracy is at risk. It's time to, dare I say, do the right thing. Actually see how that feels for you, doing the right thing. If you don't, California will neutralize anything you do in the state of Texas. California will continue to punch above its weight. We believe in democracy. We believe in the enduring values of our founding fathers. 249 years. We're not going to sit back passively. We're not going to sit back and watch you light democracy on fire. We will fight fire with fire. Hey, President Trump, it's time to stand.
Strange choice of words, considering all the fires in his state. But Greg Abbott is firing back. Let's listen.
Is it your attempt?
Illinois, they might as well start voting in Illinois.
Well, let me ask you just this final question, sir, as a bigger picture item, which is what's unusual about this is that you're attempting to do it in 2025, as opposed to waiting till the end of the decade, is when the redistricting takes place. You've explained the Supreme Court decision that led you to do this. But what's going on, obviously, is not happening in Texas, is not happening in a vacuum. We have Democrats in California and New York and other states saying, well, if Governor Abbott does this in Texas, we're going to add 5 Democratic seats. Are you not worried at all about a redistricting, gerrymandering arms race going on? And theoretically, is it not just better for voters to be picking their politicians instead of politicians to be picking their voters through gerrymandering?
Well, to be clear, listen, all those big blue states, they've already gerrymandered. Look at the map of Illinois. Look at the map of California, New York, and Massachusetts, and so many other blue states. They gerrymandered a long time ago. They got nothing left with regard to what they can do. And know this, if California tries to gerrymander 5 more districts, listen, Texas has the ability to eliminate 10 Democrats in our state. We can play that game more than they can because they have fewer Republican districts in their states.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott, don't be a stranger. Thanks for popping by. Really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. The fight is on. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. You see, Democrats wrote the book on gerrymandering, and now they're crying because Republicans are reading it. The hypocrisy is breathtaking. Pritzker called redistricting evil in 2025 after doing it himself in 2022. Robert Francis O'Rourke claims Democrats play by the rules while potentially facing jail for helping fugitive lawmakers. They carved up Illinois, California, and New York like Thanksgiving turkeys, and now Texas says enough. Abbott's message is clear. You take 5, we'll take 10. J.D. Vance says Texas is saving America with mid-decade redistricting. Even NPR censored Brian Harrison explaining Democrat gerrymandering. The truth was too damaging. Newsom's now threatening to neutralize GOP gains, but California's already maxed out their chi. So here's the question. Should every red state immediately redistrict to counter Democrat gerrymandering? Yes or no below. Fair is fair. If they can do it, so can we. Make sure you check out Next News Network's merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com and wear your resistance proudly.